So do you have that scarcity mindset, or do you have that abundance mindset? Well, my name is Marcus. This is Discover Ignite, where we discover possibilities and ignite change. And in this video, I want to talk about the scarcity mindset, and I want to talk about the abundance mindset. Now, I myself, for a long time, had that scarcity mindset and believed that it was either make or break, right? Like you were only limited to so many things in your lifetime to actually essentially make your way in life. And for the longest time, I've always thought this way, and I've always worked extra hard for those moments when they appeared that I would make the best of it. And, you know, majority of the time they worked out. Sometimes they didn't. But as of late, I've been reading a lot of different things, and they come up with this idea, right, of this abundance mindset, that there's a lot of opportunity out there. And I've even talked about this in a lot of my videos about, you know, the abundance mindset. And it does help having that mindset of abundance and realizing that this one job, this one business, this one anything is not the end all be all. And I've adopted that, and I truly understand why that mindset really helps, because it doesn't, you know, put so much stress on yourself. And I'm the kind of person, you know, that doesn't enjoy putting stress on myself, and to do my best and preparation and stuff like that to make the best of whatever, you know, options I got going on at that moment. So to have that abundance mindset is to realize that if I make this, it's no big deal, right? If I make it or break it, it's no big deal, because you know what? I'm gonna have other opportunities around the corner. And so this is why I've adopted the abundance mindset, and why I think it's extremely important, because if you think of things in terms of scarcity, then you start really thinking that, you know, this is make or break. If I don't make this, my life is going to be ruined for the rest of my life, right? When that is not at all the option. There's other ways around different things. There's other different perspectives you can take, and you realize that there's an abundance of options out there, right? The one trail you probably thought that was the end all be all, right? You fail, and then you feel like this is the end of it, and then you realize that, you know, you read one book or one podcast, or you talk to somebody about something in particular that really piques your interest, and it changes your perspective. And then what happens at that point? And then you shift and you find this other thing that was so much better than that one other thing that you thought, and you realize that you had other options. Now, possibly at that time you didn't realize that, but if you have this overall mentality of everything comes in abundance, that there's a reason for something not working out, right? And essentially that the abundance mindset can really make you take things in a way that you're not so do or die, right? Now, I do believe you should be always prepped and ready for anything to come your way, right? Because there's specific times in your life that I feel that you have to be prepped. If you really want to take advantage of opportunities in your life, you have to be prepped. You have to be doing this stuff, and a lot of times it takes many years in advance, right, to be prepping yourself, and we tend to forget that. But if you have that abundance mindset, realize that there's always opportunity there. You just have to essentially prep yourself and ready for that opportunity. That way, when you do have the chance, you are ready and you take it and you can capitalize on that opportunity. This is where abundance comes in, is to realize that that one little thing, that make or break thing, is not that big of a deal, because if it does break, you're going to be okay. Now, you know, on the turn side of that whole thing, if you are in the scarcity mindset, right, I've fallen more on that scarcity mindset before I started really taking on this abundance approach. And I was actually just reading a book about the scarcity mindset, and actually the benefits of the scarcity mindset, which is something I didn't really think about. And when you think about the scarcity mindset, you typically think that, hey, you know, the scarcity mindset's kind of, you know, doom or gloom. If you don't make it, that's it, right? It's gone. There's no way that you're going to make it out of whatever situation that you're in. And that's the only opportunity, the only shot that you have. Now, there are benefits to having the scarcity mindset, and reading this book really brought those to the forefront, right? And one of the biggest things that I took away from the scarcity mindset from this book was the fact that it makes you see things in a different approach, because you feel if there's a scarcity mindset that you can become more creative on how you get there, because you essentially pigeonholed into that one thing, right? And so you got to make it work. So you do whatever it takes to make it work. You find a way. And that's what I feel the scarcity mindset really helps. And so if you essentially flip between both, right? If you go into an opportunity where you want it to work out, but still have that abundance mentality that if it works out, it works out. But have that scarcity mentality on the same aspect and trying to be creative, right? And try to be like, okay, well, this is my one shot. Now, ultimately, I know that's not what it is, but I'm going to take this approach to this thing that I'm trying to achieve as being scarce, right? There's that one shot. Now, to make that one shot work, you can't always go trying to, break down the front door like hundreds of thousands of other people, right? Like you have to figure out another way to get in. And it actually brings up another good point, another good book that I had read, which was, I believe, called The Third Door, which is essentially, you do have everybody going into that front door, follow these steps to get to the front door. But the only problem with that is that you have, hundreds of thousands of people doing the same kind of thing, where if you, essentially tap into your strengths and figure out how you can essentially take, possibly the window to get into wherever you're trying to get, right? To ultimately achieve that goal, then use that. And so that's where that scarcity mindset, I think, really helps you, is it makes you really start thinking about how you can make it work. Whereas the abundance mindset, you're really kind of looking at it, well, if it works, it doesn't. If it works, it doesn't, right? And if that's the case, it is what it is. But that's why I think both of them can play in your favor, right? If you ultimately have the overall idea that, yes, this isn't my only option, that's fine. I'm going to take the scarcity mindset going into it and wondering how I can really make this work, right? This is what everybody else is doing, but how can you make it work, right? And what can you do differently to make it work? How creative can you be? What strengths do you have to essentially achieve that thing, right? This is what's unique about a lot of different things. We're all different. We're all essentially put together in different ways, right? So to understand that every person's road is going to be unique. And yes, some of these steps and everything, they do help, but ultimately you're going to essentially mold whatever it is into your own, essentially, or your own attributes that adapt to you, that make you feel comfortable and strong, or whatever that thing is to achieve, right? And so this is ultimately it, is to have an abundance mentality and realize that you do always have options, and realize that there's always options. Don't ever exclude options, right? Something that you may think there's no way in a million years that you're gonna do, don't ever tune that out, right? I always think that's important, that you should always leave yourself open to opportunity, but yet when you are trying to take advantage of that opportunity, I do feel like you have to approach it in a scarcity mindset, like, okay, I really need to make this work. How can I make it work? What uniqueness can I bring to this situation to make it work, right? What is everybody else doing? What am I doing? How can I essentially take advantage of this opportunity? Just realize that they are two different things, but the best thing about it is to realize that there's not just one. There's not just one option, but that there are many options. And if there are some options that you gravitate towards more, well, then come at it in that aspect. Scarcity mindset. Scarcity, it's all or nothing, right? What are you going to do to make this happen? And then take those steps that you need to do. If it doesn't work, again, it doesn't work. But the next opportunity that comes up, you take that mentality again. What kind of creative, unique way can I get it to work for me? So remember, if you do enjoy this video, to hit the like button on the way out. Also, if you have anybody out there that could get some benefit from this video, share it with them. And until next time, I will see you guys later.